Hello guys, Nexas here and welcome back to Destiny 2. And in today's video guys, we are here with a weapon that a lot of you probably don't even know exists, because it's gonna be the new seasonal sort of gambit weapon you can of course get from playing gambit itself, called the Backfang glaive. Now the Backfang glaive, as I said, it is going to be the gambit weapon, so do a bit of gambit, you can get it as a random drop, and then once you get your first drop you can start focus farming it for one of course gambit engram. But I will say gambit isn't exactly everybody's cup of tea, and that's why I say a lot of people probably don't even notice exists. They all know of course of the resounding, the joxers from PvP and everything, but when it comes to gambit, people don't really realize these weapons to come out. But because it is going to be one of these sort of seasonal ritual sort of weapons, it's going to have the most ridiculous sized freaking perk pool ever, and you'll see on the screen all of them if it can actually fit in the freaking screen. So it's got tons of rolls. It's got an absolute freaking bajillion. It's RNG hell. So if you're trying to grind out for the god roll, it might take you a little while. But what makes the Backfang really interesting, and the reason I want to kind of go over it, is that it is going to be a rapid fire glaive, which to my knowledge, the only other rapid fire glaives in the game that are legendary, you can only get from either the freaking Salvation raid or of course the Ghosts of the Deep dungeon, which honestly, for a lot of people, it kind of sucks because one, you need the keys and obviously DLCs and whatnot, but two, a lot of people don't do that sort of end game content, so you just never get this rapid fire type of glaive. You do have things like Swashbuckler, Vault Shot, and I will say it will have the jolting feedback, which might be useful for a lot of people, but I will say overall that glaives right now, even though it is of course unstopped for glaives, they are kind of situational. They're not exactly weapons I'd be sitting there going, these are the absolute meta right now. Like, there is times where they're actually useful with the shield and whatnot, but when it comes to actual endgame content and stuff, you don't see the glaives too much, especially when you got things like Luminarch and Lord of Wolves and all these sorts of other energy weapons that are just absolutely blasting things. So without further ado, let's go in with the Backfang glaive. Alrighty, time to go in with the little Backfang glaive, the good. And this is what it's going to be like and everything in the PvE arena. As I said, it is a glaive, so damage wise, it's going to be kind of nice in terms of just straight up damage. The glaives actually do some decent damage and everything. But as I said, when it comes to the old PvE arena, they are kind of situational. The shield is everything is going to be nice, and obviously it is an arc weapon, so it's going to go great with the mods this season, with the ball charge and everything, and of course meleeing with of course my Titan. Oh, I got pulled off. But meleeing with my Titan and everything, if you go Synthos or whatnot, you're going to do absolute work with it. But the Backfang itself, I do think that it has like a little bit of a place because it is going to be rapid fire frames, so you can get your shots off really quickly, and that's maybe where the jolting feedback might come in like a lot more clutch than of course this the Vault Shot, which I mean Vault Shot is great and of course in this sort of environment, but people will say with of course the getting amplified all the time from, oh my god, why is it all freaking shielded, guys? We're legit just jousting each other. Die, please. Oh my god, the shield. But yeah, when it comes to, of course, the all amplified and everything with ball charge and whatnot, it will be kind of actually nice with the jolting feedback. It's actually a solid kind of roll. I do think though, as I said, there's just kind of better in the game at the moment. Like, I'm not saying that these are bad or anything, but a lot more people will go in, of course, with just more bang for your buck sort of weapons. I mean, of course, the Vault Shot's gotta be nice. I missed it. Vault Shot is, of course, gotta be nice and everything, but it is just gotta be up to like preference and everything, what you really want to go in with. I mean, there's some builds that go really well. I missed from, oh my god, I missed from 2 yards away. But there's some people who love the glaives and everything, and this honestly, as I said, because it is rapid fire frame, it actually is really dope because you got spam your shots really fast. Like, look how quick this is. And yo, okay, oh my god, I didn't even kill him. I want to get my Vault Shot going so I can get the next guy. Now we get it. But yeah, being able to spam the shots that quick is honestly really dope. It's like really good for kind of the DPS sort of scenarios. Oh my god, give me this freaking unstop or the freaking Vault Shot. And as I said, the only other ones you can really get it like this are going to, of course, be the old raid encounters or dungeon ones. So for that alone, it's probably worth getting some rolls, but I just think that glaives in general, it's so hard to warrant these in PvP or PvE right now. I know that I'm going to get so much crap from people going, yeah, but glaives are actually shit. I use them auto chart for all my GMs. Yeah, you can use them and it actually can be useful, but when you got things like, as I said, Lord of Wolves, which is just kind of absolutely broken, or just like other weapons that are just doing absolute work, it's so hard to warrant them. If they honestly wanted to make these actually really insane, they could have honestly just given it that the jolting feedback will proc off melees. Imagine if you get it just for like slamming in, just doing like this to a bunch of enemies, and all of a sudden you get the jolting feedback. I'm gonna get punched back. Ah! No, don't kill me. Thank you. Give me the heals or something, and we're gonna get these guys instead. Thank you. And I thought I was gonna get crushed by a freaking pod. That's all that freaking happens. I do a great job in this, by the way. That's how I'm getting the arena. It's kind of going, but it would have been really cool if they made the glaive melee actually proc the jolting feedback. That would be so sick. Imagine being able to slide in and just get things jolting for the slicing and dicing. Oh, it could have been so dope, but of course, alas, it doesn't work like that. I think it's like 3 shots when you're amplified or 4 shots when you're not amplified to get jolting feedback going, which it's not too bad. It's still kind of like you're going to be doing the damage anyway, and with, of course, how fast it fires, it's easy enough to proc it, but it would have still been so dope if they actually kind of worked a little bit more with, of course, as I said, the melee. It just would have been cracked out. Imagine with ball charge, you pop the shield down, you melee, you get jolting feedback with ball charge kind of going at the same time. Man, I could only dream the power I would feel. Just drop a wall like this, keep on... Of course. But keep on spamming the melee then and getting the ball charge kind of going, like charging up whilst you're also melee and getting jolting going. Oh, it would have been so cool. But if you're in the lower sort of tier sort of, I'd say PvE event, obviously it's going to be really, really easy to kind of get the vault shot going because I have nothing for it. Okay, you do. Thank God, give me that ammo. But you gotta see, you can spam the shots so freaking quickly with it. It's actually pretty freaking dope. Do not take the heavy, buddy. All right, you take away the shield, guys. I'm gonna spam the shots. Don't worry, I've got a shield on it. I've got a shield on it. Look, let's see the spam. I said you can't spam shots really quickly with the rapid fire frames. That's why they're called rapid fire frames. It makes sense, right? It is really, really dope for that, though. So I think for that reason alone, it's probably worth getting some of them if you're not a big raider or whatnot, but... All right, we're just going to thunder crush this guy. Oh my God, I don't even know what I hit. But I just think overall that glaives in general PvE, they're not bad. They're just, it's really hard to warrant these over, of course, its counterparts. Like, or just shotgun snipers, anything else, grenade launchers. There's so much. The only thing I'm going to give it is that it is going to be arc, so I can do things like this and just sit back and just get the ball charge kind of going. And it's going to do absolute work that way, but yeah, I don't know. I just... Even though it isn't unstoppable around the season, you got things like fusion rifles that are unstopped and also particle deconstruction. So, yeah. I don't think you're going to see this much PvE, but I do think that, especially as I said, for those non-raiders or those non-dungeon folk, it's worth getting because it's a rapid fire frame. Well, that is it for me. And of course, the Backfang glaive itself, as I said, the fact that it is a rapid fire glaive does give it a little bit more, of course, reason to grind this out and try to get some rolls of it. Because as I said, the only other ones I can think of are, of course, the Salvation Raid and Ghost of the Deeps dungeon, which a lot of people just don't really dabble in at all. So it's really nice for the kind of, I'd say, casual, or people just don't basically just don't do the end game. But for the most part, glaives in general PvE, they could be fun and everything. They're pretty nice to some arc builds, but one, they're really risky. Even though the shield is there, they're super risky, obviously, in GMs and everything, because you got to get up close and personal. Mods aren't really there for them right now, and I just think that overall, when it comes to damage and like just pure output, they don't really have it compared to other weapons. Of course, there is the exotic glaives, which have extra like special abilities and stuff, so they don't really count compared to the normal ones. But I just think that the Backfang itself, it has some potential, and I do think that if glaives ever do become like insanely good in the meta and everything, this might be one to look at because it does have that jolting feedback roll. Just the meta right now, it just doesn't really take them. So I will say definitely when it comes to grinding this weapon, because it is such an orangey hell, unless you're like a really big glaive enthusiast or you love your glaives, this isn't something I'm saying you have to get it right now for PvE, because you'll just be way better off with so many other weapons. So yeah, 100% Backfang glaive. It is going to be the gamut weapon. I played it so you don't really have to. Maybe if you're doing bounties, you'll get some rolls of this, get some engrams, you might focus it, but for the most part, it's not really worth it right now. But regardless, if you like the video, show us a like, and release some more content, subscribe, fantastic day, and hopefully I'll see you in the next collective in the next one.